about some of the unusual fractions, because at this point, probably you would think that all fractions can only be rational numbers, that they can't be whole numbers, they can't be integers, they can't be natural or counting numbers, that fractions must be only rational numbers. That's the only category they go into. But what if you have a fraction like 10 over 5? Now, if you look at 10 over 5, it is a top-heavy fraction. It can be simplified. So we're going to simplify it. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 is a whole number, and it's positive. So it could go into actually 10 over 5, the fraction could actually be a natural or counting number. It could be a whole number. It could be an integer, and it also is a rational number. If I have a fraction, let's say 1/3, and I divide the bottom into the top, I get 0.33, and it repeats and repeats and repeats. It goes on and on and on. Normally, we would write it like this. Now, if you have a fraction and you convert it to a decimal and it repeats and goes on and on and on, but it's the same number or the same pattern of numbers, it is still a rational number. If I take a fraction and I turn it into a decimal, and this is called terminating, it actually stops, it is a rational number. But if I take a fraction and I turn it into a decimal, and it goes on and on and on, but there's no pattern, it does not repeat, it just keeps going and going and going, this is not a rational number. So just keep that in mind. We won't run into these that often, but just keep that in mind. Now, another unusual number that you might see is going to be, let me go ahead and erase some of this, is going to be a percent. So if I have a percent, like 15%, and you change that to a decimal, it is a rational number. So just keep that in mind, that if you see a percent, that doesn't, it is probably still a rational number.